out here and talk to Billy Sutton.
Good morning. Welcome to Randy's Corner, and I'm your host, Randy Clark. And we're going to get right into things this morning because I got one of my favorite people here in Sylacauga, Dr. Ted Spears. Good morning, Dr. Ted.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Cold. It's really
It's cold this morning, isn't it?
and unexpected frost on the windshield, so I'm lucky to be here.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm glad you made it in, and we got a lot to talk about. And what we're going to talk about today is the annual spring brown bag series at the Bebe Comer Memorial Library. I'm tongue-tied this morning.
Well, it's cold weather to do that to you.
That's right.
You can't
That's
get everything
right.
to function.
All right, okay, so it starts on Wednesday, February the 7th, and the first guest, I guess the first Wednesday, is Mr. Randall Warren. Great guy, excellent musician, and a wonderful storyteller. Could you tell everybody a little something about Randall?
Well, he was born in Arab, Alabama, and he grew up with a guitar in one hand and a banjo in the other hand.
Yes.
And he's got a wonderful ability to write and sing, but more importantly, to attract other people that help him with the band. And he's bringing his band in to do some top country music and some gospel singing. And it'll be an old-timey approach to entertainment. So I encourage everybody to come out and see Randall, and he'll have a drummer and another musician with him or two, and he'll introduce them. But he's on the D Ford morning show in Talladega, and so everybody I've talked to in that area, they just say he's wonderful. So,
He is. He's a great musician.
So-
I've had the honor of seeing him several times, and he is excellent.
well, you know, people in this area really love country music, and classic country music seems to be the favorite. And so I think we're going to have a rendition of that they'll be thrilled with, and they'll be humming some of these tunes a week from now.
Okay. All right. Now, before we go on to the next 4 weeks, you tell us what times that you can get in and about how long the brown bag series lasts.
Well, it'll last an hour, about 12 to 1.
Okay.
But the auditorium will open earlier, and you can bring your sandwich from home or buy one at the Burger King or Wendy's, whenever. The Hickory Street Cafe will furnish you a cookie, a little package of cookies and the water, and you can come in and meet and greet. The auditorium opens, like I said, at 11:30 at least, and we'll be ready to introduce the show starting at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And for those people who have to get back to work, it's okay to leave, but leave quietly and just ease out. And
Right.
they may get excited and go on with 1:15. So
That's right.
sometimes that happens, but I certainly hope so with this case.
That's right. Okay, now that's February the 7th, and our next one is coming up Wednesday, February the 14th, is Dr. James R. Hanson. Could you tell us a little bit about what he's going to be talking about?
Well, he's going to be talking about some brave people, kind of crazy people, but brave, who took a rowboat and crossed the Atlantic in it. One going in one direction and one going east to west and other going west to east. And it happened about the same time that it was that they were going to paddle across the Atlantic, but they didn't know about what the other was doing. One was coming from the Virgin Islands over to Florida, and the other one was going from Newfoundland to Ireland. And so we're going to be talking about how lonely it got, just one person. Had never been done before. How lonely, and they had to fight sharks, they had to fight bad weather, they had to fight storms. And it was just, the thing that they had to fight is a problem of loneliness. There's nobody out there to talk to, and very little radio contact.
I'm sure they went close to going crazy.
I bet they did too. That is one of the things, and they've even done some research. One of the biggest problems in society that we have now, according to all the sociologists and psychologists, is loneliness. People get lonely. They don't communicate. They don't get to see each other. The cell phones takes the place of people, and looking at them, but there's some of the problems that they suffer there. They're helping to correct societal problems. So
Right.
it was more than just a trip across the Atlantic. I would probably be reluctant to go across the Coosa River in a rowboat myself.
You and me both.
But just think of the waves and the danger and the loneliness and the terrible weather that they had.
I could imagine. Okay. Now, on Wednesday, February the 21st, Dr. Mike Bunn. What's Dr. Mike going to be talking about?
Well, he's going to be talking about Fort Stoddard, and he is one of the absolute best Alabama history people in existence. We had him up here last year when he did the program on the 14th colony, and that was the importance that Alabama played in the origin of this country, and got very little attention. So he wrote a book on that, and we did that. But he's going to talk about Fort Stoddard, which was a military fort just north of Mobile. And that turned out to be the gateway on the Mobile River and on the Alabama River, close to Pensacola and the Mobile Bay. It was a center point, and for the development of this country, everything went through Fort Stoddard. It didn't go through Birmingham or Sylacauga and all that. And that was because of communication. At that time, water transportation was still the easiest way to get to a place in Alabama.
Right.
And so they utilized the rivers and the Gulf and all of that. So he's going to explain that, but hopefully in this explanation, somebody will ask him a question. We're going to find out why we gave away Panama City and Pensacola, and the original people who were surveying it had it just go straight to Apalachicola, and it would have been a perfect rectangle. But boy, wouldn't that be something good for the tax money? That,
Wouldn't it, though?
Just what with the Gulf Shores and Mobile, and we do a wonderful sort of thing, but he's going to be talking about that, and I hope in the question and answer session that anybody that's ever worried about what is happening down there, he'll be able to answer it. And there'll be books for sale for he and Dr. Hanson and Mike. They're prolific writers, and he has just done some fantastic books, and he'll have some books to sell. We're not pushing books, but people in Alabama need to read Mike Bunn's history books to find out why we're here, what we're doing, and who we were before who we are.
Right, right. And like you said, you're not pushing books, but they'll have books for sale after the session's over, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Now, on Wednesday, February the 28th, we got one of our own hometown guys, Chris Carden, coming back, right?
Absolutely. Instead of me introducing him, I think I'll have him introduce me. And,
Okay.
But Chris is absolutely one of the best presenters when he's given the history of the Sylacauga Police Department. He had a grandfather that was tied in with the police department. He had a father, and he served as this was his first city police job. He served in the county first, but he was later on chief, and he has gone on to greater things and retired from a very important job with the
Well, the state, wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely, with the state. And but since he retired from the state, he and his wife moved to Gulf Shores, and he works in the private sector now. And so he and his wife, Amy Carden, have four daughters between them, and he'll probably give an update on them. But he is just the most knowledgeable person. Of course, he's got the degrees from Jacksonville State University and then the FBI Academy, in addition to the great experience and as a military officer in the Gulf Wars. And so I just think that people are going to enjoy it, and we want them to turn out. And welcome Chris back home because he's one of our favorite people, and we all are looking forward to him. And
Right.
I know that Kelly Johnson, in talking to Tracy, said he was delighted, and he's going to certainly be there to listen to him. So
Right.
it's a wonderful homecoming for all of us.
Right, right. And the history of the Sylacauga Police Department, I can't wait to hear that. I love history, but that is real good. I really love history about my hometown.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, he has done a thorough job on that, and it'll some good things that happened and some bad things that happened, and he's going to mix it all up. We're going to see that some of us are lucky to be here, and others are just lucky to be gone. So,
Right, right.
but that's a personal interest sort of thing.
Okay. And the last speaker, and I love her. She is a wonderful speaker. This will be Wednesday, March the 6th. Miss Dolores Haddock. Did I say it right?
Right.
Okay. She is a wonderful speaker. What's she going to be talking about?
Well, she's going to be talking about a number of things, human life. She's going to talk about her high school reunions and how important it is and how funny it is, how crazy it is, and why some people who were sweethearts in high school hook up again in
Later years.
later years. And then she'll be talking about, coming from Reading, Pennsylvania, where she grew up and went to school. That's where Luden's cough drops and the railroad comes from.
Okay.
But she is delightful, and she's going to talk about her transition from cooking like a northerner to using an iron skillet, and her first experience with an iron skillet. But she is delightful. She's great. She goes all over the Southeast, and she's was featured telling for the 6th time in a row of the 50th anniversary of the Storytelling Festival in Jonesboro, Tennessee. And they bring in storytellers from all over the United States, and she is the most popular one. And I wish that we had her every week.
That's right.
She's that
She's
good.
a wonderful speaker, and she keeps you interested too. That's what I like about her.
Listen, she's a talented person. She taught college English. She taught dancing, the Cajun dancing, regular musical things. She sings, she dances, she talks, she writes, she publishes. But mainly she's coming to Sylacauga, so I'm just thrilled with that, and you don't want to miss that.
That's right. Dr. Ted, we're about out of time, but before we go, I would like to thank you, Dr. Ted Spears, Miss Shirley, and Miss Tracy Thomas for making these series happen. We love it here in Sylacauga. You always have great speakers, and thank you so much. How long has this been going on?
About something like 30-something years.
30
It was
years.
Started with the help of Auburn University helping us start out, and since then it's grown and we're known. The library is known for one of the best brown bag programs or public service programs in the state.
Right.
And Shirley and Tracy have just worked real hard on that, and the library staff. And so I think we have something to be proud of, and just come out and support them. And the very least that'll happen is you'll have a bottle of water and a cookie.
That's right. That's right. And those cookies are delicious.
Yes, they are.
Thank you for coming in, Dr. Ted. And don't forget, our brown bag series, the spring series starts February the 7th, and it goes for the next 5 weeks, I believe. So come on to the B.B. Comer Memorial Library on February the 7th when we start. And it starts at 12. Get there a little bit early where, like he says, you can get you a bottle of water and a cookie from the Hickory Street Cafe. Don't forget about pickleball tonight. Dr. Jonathan Douglas starts back his kids. Teaching tonight is free of charge. It'll be on the 2 courts closest to Norton. So we'll have 4 courts for the people that's already playing and 2 courts for the kids. So come on out. That's between 6 and 7. Our winter times for pickleball is 6 to 8 because the tennis team is practicing from 3 to 6. So thank you, Dr. Ted, for coming in.
Thank you.
And can't wait to see you at the Brown Bag Series. Y'all come on out, and we'll see you next week.